I thought my marriage and my whole life was over that Monday morning when I found out for sure that my wife was cheating on me with my boss. This happened at my house and in my bed while I was working, which is even worse. Nobody told me about it, and no one sent me pictures or a video. I always brought my personal laptop to work so I could keep my private information off the office network. The whole thing streamed live to it. There was Olivia, my wife of 15 years, with Tristan, the CEO. I turned down the volume because I didn't want to hear what they were saying. It was hard enough just to see it happen. My wife went to the toilet to get ready for me to come home later that morning. It was impossible to tell if she was crying because the light was so weak, but she seemed sad. I knew then that my wonderful marriage was over and that someone would have to pay for it. Forget those stories where the cheated husband is happy to see someone else sleep with his wife. There's only sheer rage and a want to stab someone in the heart with a dull knife. From then on, I wanted to get back at them. Chapter 2. Steve and Olivia. Here's some background. Steve is my name, and I work for a huge IT company in the Northwest. Before I met my first wife, who turned out to be a wild lady who cheated on me, I met Olivia. That first marriage was terrible, but it provided me 2 wonderful kids that I wouldn't give for anything. Olivia and I met on a blind double date. A friend informed me he could hook me up with someone if I was comfortable with going on a double date not long after I got to MCS El Toro, which doesn't exist anymore. I thought, why not? It was better than being in the barracks with a lot of Marines who were making noise. I was supposed to go with Darlene, and Olivia was going to go with him. Things worked out, though. Darlene and he got along well, and Olivia and I got along well. She was and still is a beautiful woman. Her beautiful blonde hair, emerald eyes that were hard to forget, and grin that could light up any room were all things that stuck with me. I had never seen legs like hers on a girl before. They were long, and I thought it was amazing that her chest wasn't big. We were together for a long period, but then we broke up. We didn't have any problems. We just went our separate ways. She had informed me that she wanted to wait until she was married to have sex, which was a little disheartening, but I respected it. We never fell in love, but we did a lot of heavy petting. 4 years later, I was getting a divorce because my unfaithful, unstable wife took the kids and went to California to be with her new boyfriend. I decided to get in touch with Olivia one day, even though I knew she might already be married and not want to hear from me. I wouldn't have blamed her, but I felt like I had to try. I got a number from the local operator after a while. We didn't have the internet back then, so I called it. She answered the phone and said it was an excellent time because she and her flatmate were looking for a new place to live. And no, she didn't have a boyfriend. What a stroke of luck. We talked for what felt like hours, and the years just flew by. I told her about my divorce and my 2 kids, and I told her I wanted to see her again. She answered yes, which surprised me. The next Christmas, I went to California to be with her, and we got along so well that I couldn't help but ask her to marry me. She started to cry and told me that she had a health problem that would keep her from having kids. I told her I loved her, not her ability to have kids, which was true. She stopped crying, hugged me tightly, and kissed me all over. Yes, she answered, I'll marry you and be the best wife a man could ever want. She suggested, nevertheless, that we would have to wait until our wedding night to have sex. Yes, she was still a virgin. After I got out of the military, we got married in June. This was the start of what had been a great life till now. I learned that being patient was important for a good relationship with Olivia. I was more than happy to give it all. I'm not sure if her illness caused it or if she waited till she was 24 to fall in love, but love damaged her. It has to be slow and gentle. In just a few years, Olivia had thyroid cancer and then had open heart surgery to fix a broken valve. She had to stay in the hospital for 2 more months because of one problem after another. She also started taking blood thinners, which made her bruise. A few years later, Olivia had to go back to the hospital for a second heart operation. This time, they had to treat an aneurysm on her aorta. 3 months later, I had a heart attack, and soon after that, I underwent a quadruple bypass. This put a damper on our love life, but we still had 3 or 4 excellent sessions a month with lots of cuddling in between. We moved to the Northwest, where I got a job as a system operator. We worked with a lot of significant clients all around the country, and some of them were state, local, or federal contracts. My duty was to keep a watch on those networks, deal with any problems that came up as quickly as possible, and make sure the correct people were on the job to cut down on probable downtime. The manager who hired me left, and they told me they were considering me as his replacement because I already managed the team and knew the systems inside and out. But that didn't happen. The organization hired Tristan Brown, who had just quit his position at a nearby hospital. They told me not to worry since I'd get a substantial rise, but they also said that HR had to post the job for at least 5 days before they could look at candidates from within the company. Things didn't go as planned. From the first day, Tristan didn't like me and tried to ruin my plans. He even said I was to blame for things that happened when I wasn't working. We fought more than time, and he often yelled swear words at me at the end of these fights. One day, our night shift worker just disappeared without warning. As the boss, I would have known if something was wrong, but everything seemed good. Tristan told me that day that I would be taking his place. Why? I asked. The new person had to do that task, not the team leader after all. Tristan answered, because I need you there. Did Hank say it was okay? Did he give the green light? I asked back. Tristan's supervisor was Hank. It doesn't matter, Tristan said. This team is mine, and I'll decide how to divide up the work. Angela will be in charge for now until I find someone else to fill that role. You have 2 choices. You can work the night shift or find a new job. Don't worry, your pay will stay the same, and you'll get a 10% bonus for working nights. I didn't like this, but I didn't think I had many choices because of all the medical costs we had. He claimed it was only for a little while, so I put my pride aside and said, okay. I knew Olivia wouldn't like it, but I thought we'd be able to handle it like we had so many times before. I did, however, make a note to call the operator from the night before to see what I could learn. The yearly 4th of July BBQ for the firm was the last good thing that happened. I didn't know what happened, but we fled. After then, Olivia's mood changed. She was angry and aggressive, snapping at the tiniest things. It's no surprise that our sex life went away. She never told me what happened and yelled at me when I tried to ask. I never thought she would cheat on me, but now, 2 months later, I had proof. Chapter 3. The Picnic. The corporation has a big picnic every year on the 4th of July. They had hamburgers and hot dogs with all the fixings, lots of drinks, and of course, lots of fun, including fireworks. It was a chance for everyone to relax, get to know each other, and take a break. I saw a new sign as Olivia and I drove into the park. It told them that the park had cameras that watched it all the time. The City Parks and Recreation Department developed this program to deal with the problem of homeless persons and other people who exploited the parks for illicit purposes. This job was done by our company. As part of our arrangement, we helped run it and kept an eye on the servers that ran the cameras and saved the videos. We parked the car and strolled to the picnic. I saw the table for my squad and we went over. Tristan saw us and said hi to Olivia. He gave me a look that said, "You lucky dog." I felt lucky because Olivia still looked great even after all her surgeries. Her lengthy legs looked great in her yellow sundress. Tristan also told us about his wife, Rebecca. She said she worked at the hospital on the north side. She liked her job, but the hours were strange. She said she worked 3 days a week from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next day. I took a couple of sodas from a nearby cooler, 2 cups of ice, and poured Olivia and me some icy drinks. Even though the park had a stringent ban against open containers, a few shots of Jim Beam somehow made it into our cups. We don't drink much, but we do enjoy a drink now and then. Olivia wanted a hot dog off the grill, so I went to buy us some lunch. The queue for food was long, so I talked to some other guys for 15 to 20 minutes as we waited for our hot dogs. I took the hot dogs that were stacked on top of relish, mustard, and ketchup and walked back to our table. But I had an issue. Olivia wasn't there. Tristan had also left. I was confused. Where did she go? I wasn't bothered that Tristan was missing, but I was frightened that Olivia wasn't there. She constantly told me when she needed to powder her nose, as she put it. I asked Rebecca if she knew where Olivia was. She said she assumed they went to the bathrooms at the edge of the park we were in. I assumed it wasn't a huge deal. She'll be back. Olivia wasn't there after 15 minutes. I thought she might be delayed in a queue. The party was full after all. It had been 30 minutes. Olivia is nowhere to be found. 55 minutes. Nothing yet. I was worried and chose to look for her. I got to the bathrooms and yelled her name, hoping she would hear me. She fell out of the ladies' room, holding her head. Her outfit was wrinkled and her hair was a disaster. She looked like she'd been crying, and I saw what looked like a bruise on her arm. "Stop yelling so loud," she murmured, her words slurred. I said, "Oh my God." "What took place?" I asked. "What happened? Did you fall? Did someone hurt you?" Her voice was weak as she said, "Take me home now." I took her back to the car and told everyone we passed that we had to go home. Tristan sat down at our table and smiled as he said, "Nice to meet you, Olivia. See you later." I asked Olivia, what did he mean by that? "Just take me home," she replied, shaking her head. I put her in the car and drove away, wondering if I should take her to the emergency room to get checked out. I said, "You might need to see a doctor." "Just take me home now," she yelled. We didn't say anything for the rest of the 30-mile ride. It didn't make sense to argue with her then, but Tristan's goodbye disturbed me. Now I get it, but I still didn't know everything that had transpired. Chapter 4. Solving the mystery. After the picnic, Olivia was different. I thought something was wrong with my CEO, but she wouldn't talk about it. She started to shun me even more when I tried to embrace or kiss her. The love was over. For 2 months, I walked on eggshells because I didn't want to offend her. The condo was a mess for days, and I had to ask her to do the wash. You may have seen that this would lead to a nasty brawl. It wasn't good with Tristan either. He seemed to be more arrogant and condescending than normal, which made his attitude seem worse than before. He tried to blame me for things that happened on the weekend shifts. He even said he would tell on me over a tiny mistake one of the day operators made. He asked me out of the blue one day if my CPAP machine helped me sleep better. I thought this was odd because I had never told him or anyone else at work about my CPAP. How did he know I had one? Did Olivia say something at the picnic? Or had he been in my home? The look on his face bothered me and set off a lot of alarms. I'd learn why sooner than I thought. I saw a piece of paper under Olivia's side of the bed later on. I picked it up and opened it to see if it was an important receipt we needed to keep for our taxes. When I saw Tristan's name and the final 4 numbers of his debit card on the receipt from the petrol station near our condo, I couldn't believe it. It also showed the date and time, which proved that he bought stuff after I got to work. Even if the receipt was bad, I didn't think it was enough to indicate that he or Olivia did something wrong. I wasn't ready to face any of them yet. I needed more proof, like recordings of sound and video. Olivia's mom took her shopping one Sunday, and that's when she got the chance. I was happy she left because I was sick of how negative she always was. I got some small wireless cameras and audio recorders to put around the house. I couldn't tell Olivia that I was putting them in to catch her with my CEO, so I waited till she was going to be gone for a while. I built up a program on my home server that lets the cameras send footage to my laptop. I had some time to kill before Olivia and her mom got back, so I decided to check her email. I had her password because she asked me to fix little things for her a lot. I went into her webmail account and sought for any signs that they were chatting. There was nothing in her inbox or her deleted stuff folder. This was odd because she normally kept everything. I looked in her sent stuff box and saw that it was empty as well. I looked at her Facebook account to see if she had any messages. No luck. Nothing came up. I still needed to check her phone, but it would have to wait for now. I called George, who worked the night shift before me, to see if we might meet. I located his mobile phone number on an old team roster, and he said he would meet me at a restaurant midway between our homes. I sent Olivia a message saying I was going to see a coworker and would be returning in a few hours. "Hey, Steve," George said as I got out of the car. He didn't look well. I asked, "Hey, George, how's it going?" to try to lighten the tension. We went in and sat down in a booth. "I'll pay for lunch," I said to him as we ordered from the waiter. "Thanks, Steve, I appreciate that," he added. "It's been hard, for real." I asked, "What happened?" George looked like he was about to cry. "Don't worry, buddy, I've heard everything," I said to attempt to make him feel better. "Tristan tried to," he started, seeming worried. I told them to keep going. "What happened?" Steve continued. "He tried to force himself on my wife, looking around to see if anyone heard." I said, "That's terrible. How did you find out? Did you see him doing it?" George answered, "No. My wife told me that he came to our house after I left for work and tried to scare her. He made all kinds of promises, but she said she would call the police if he didn't leave. That's what she told me. He acted like a total creep when he hit on her." "That's terrible," I said. "Did he fire you because your wife wouldn't give in to him?" George said, "He fired me after I told him I would call the police and tell Hank." The business established policies to keep this from happening. Tristan fired me right then and there. He told me he would hurt me and my wife if I told anyone, George said. I understood why George was worried because Tristan was a huge person. If Tristan wanted to fight him, he wouldn't have a chance. "Steve, be careful. Tristan isn't just bad, he's evil. If he gets the chance, he'll try to seduce your wife," George said. I thought, that's too late for that. "Stop him," George said again. "Talk to Hank. Do something. You never know what he might do." I asked, "How is your job search going?" to change the subject. George said, "It's hard. I've had a few interviews that went well, but I always get the same answer. We're sorry, but we need someone with better qualifications." I answered, "That's not true." Yes, getting an IT job here is hard, but George had great qualities, including a lot of education and certifications. He also worked really hard. George added, "Someone told me that things went downhill after they got in touch with my old boss. Tristan seems to have been spreading lies about me all over the place." "Jerk," I said. "Yeah, so anyway, I got a job at a corner store," he continued. "It's terrible and doesn't pay much, but at least we can stay in our home for now." "George, keep your chin up," I said. "I think things will get worse with Tristan soon. I don't want to get your hopes up, but I'll do my best to get you back on the team." "Thanks," George said, "but I'll never work with that jerk no matter what." "I understand," I answered, shifting the subject. We finished our meal and went our separate ways. "Let's stay in touch," I yelled as I drove away. I went home to get some sleep before my shift. I had no idea what news would come my way that morning. Chapter 5. Making Plans for the Op. The video shocked me, but I quickly made up my mind to put an end to Tristan's cruel behavior. Based on what I had observed, I was sure that the marriage was over. I was curious that Olivia hadn't told me what was going on. Wade, George's wife, did. Did Tristan have that much power over her? Did she like what he did? That didn't matter anymore. All I could think about was getting back at Tristan and taking him down. I looked into Tristan's daily life and saw that he did the same things every day. Every week he worked from home on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I remembered that Rebecca, Tristan's wife, had said she worked 3 days a week too. I began to see a pattern. I think Tristan would check when his wife departed for work and then keep an eye on my Skype status to make sure I was at work. He would go to my house, conduct an affair with my wife, and get back before his own wife got home once he was sure I wasn't home. It was based on indirect proof, but it fit with everything I'd witnessed in the last 2 months. If I predicted correctly, he'd work from home today as well and come to the office on Tuesday. I didn't have much time for this. I needed 2 friends to help me carry out my strategy. I wanted to talk to Hank right away, but I also needed to get in touch with Angela. I wasn't sure whether she would agree with my plan, but I had to ask her and hope she wouldn't tell anyone. Then there was the problem with my wife. I still loved her, but that love was turning into hate. How could she do this to us after all that had happened to us in the last 15 years? Let's go one step at a time. It was 5:30 and I had to call Hank and Angela. Angela got there about 6:30 and Hank got there around 7 coolio. I wrote Angela an email. "Angela, I need to talk to you as soon as you get here. Thanks, Steve." I called Hank at home after I clicked send. I didn't want to do that, but I thought he was up and getting ready for work. He inquired, "What's going on, Steve? Did something happen?" "Yes," I said. "It's very personal and has to do with Tristan and my wife. I need to see you right away." He said, "Wow. I'll come in as soon as I can so we can talk about it." "Thanks, Hank. I'll wait for you to get here." Angela came up to my desk at 6:32. "What's going on?" she asked. "Your email said it was urgent." "Yes," I said, "it is. Listen, I need a big favor from you, and I understand if you say no. All I ask is that you keep it to yourself." "Hey," she said, "you've helped me out more than once, so I owe you one." I said, "Thanks." I told her what I had seen and what I planned to do. She fell onto the chair next to my desk in shock. "Oh my God," she said, her eyes wide. "Okay, you've got it. I'll keep quiet about anything you need." I had a feeling something was wrong with Tristan, but I couldn't put my finger on it. She went on to say that he had flirted with her, which wasn't a big deal, but was enough to keep her on her toes. "When do you plan to do this?" she asked. I said, "Wednesday morning." "You need to get there by 11:45 on Tuesday night. Is that okay?" She said right away. "I appreciate it," I said. "Until then, we need to act like nothing has changed." "Got it?" "Yes," she said. "Great, I'm in your debt," I said. "I'll talk to Hank soon. He knows what's going on, so if everything goes as planned, Tristan will be gone by this time Wednesday." She smiled and gave my arm a soft pat. "Good luck, and call me if you need anything," she said. "Will do, CEO," I said with a smile, referring to her status as team leader, which Tristan handed her after putting me on the night shift. At that point, Hank came and motioned for me to come to his office. I took my laptop with the devastating proof and went inside with him, slamming the door behind us. "Thanks for coming to see me like this, Hank." "Not a problem," he said. "So what proof do you have?" I told him what had transpired in the last 2 months, and then I showed him the part of the film that bothered me the most. "Damn it," he said, expressing how angry he was. "I'm going to fire him today." "I have a better idea," I said. He asked, "What is that?" I told him my plan and asked him to come with me so he could kill Tristan in person and be a witness at the same time. He smiled when I told him about it. "Don't let me get on your bad side," he said. "Okay, I'll do it. I'll be at your place by 10 p.m. on Tuesday." "Thanks, CEO. I appreciate this more than you know." "Don't worry, Steve. I think you'll get that promotion after all. It should have been yours from the start," he replied. "One more thing, if I may," I added. Hank asked, "What is that?" I told him what George had said to me and what I had said to him. Hank said, "Poor guy." "What's your plan?" I added. "At the very least, George should get his old job back. Maybe we should give him a rise to make up for what Tristan did." Hank thought for a bit before he spoke. "That's the least we can do for him. I'm surprised he hasn't sued the company yet. Tristan's threat might have really gotten to him," he said. "Thanks," I said. "This will mean a lot to George," he said. "See you Tuesday night." Chapter 6. Facing Olivia. Talking to Hank and Angela made me feel better, but the hardest part was still to come, seeing the lady I had loved for years. I wasn't sure how she would react to the proof, but I didn't care. I called her like I normally do to tell her that my shift was over and that I would be home at the same time as usual. I tried to sound regular, but I think I didn't. "Is everything okay?" she asked. "Oops." "Yeah, it was a long day at work," I said. "Okay, see you soon," she said. I love you." I said, "I love you too," wanting to sound real. I was scared to call her mother next. "Hello, Mom," I said when she answered. "What is going on?" she asked. I told her that Olivia needed to stay with you for a while. She asked, "What? Why? Did you two fight?" "No," I said. After that, I told them everything I knew. "That doesn't sound like my daughter," she said. "This can't be right. She wouldn't do that." I answered, "The footage leaves no question." She exclaimed, "You have footage? Oh my God." I informed her, "Olivia doesn't know that I know yet. But she'll find out when I get home, and she can't stay here until we figure this out." "Is there any way to fix this?" she inquired. "I don't know right now. I don't have an answer. What I do know is that she needs to leave the house for a while to stay safe and give me time to figure this out," I told her. I told her that I had a plan for dealing with Tristan and that it would work better if she wasn't there. I also said, "And no matter what, don't talk to Olivia or tell her anything." "Okay," she said. "I'll be quiet. I'm so sorry this is happening to you." "Thanks for that," I said. The ride back to the house seemed to go on forever. I put my computer on the table and heated up my coffee as soon as I got there. Olivia sat in one of the 2 chairs facing the TV and muttered a quiet, "Hi." I didn't say anything back, not even a brief, "Hello." "What's wrong?" she asked. She always knew when I was upset. I told her we needed to talk and then she should pack some things. What? She said. Why? At that point, my computer had booted up, so I opened the movie. Come over here. I want to show you something that might interest you, I said. She got up and walked over to my computer. There was a video of Tristan having sex with her on the television. She put her hands over her lips and screamed. "Oh no, this can't be happening," she cried, her face wet with tears. "Please," she begged. "That's not how it looks." I asked, "Oh? That's not you and my boss in our bed? Come on, you think I'm that dumb? You think you can cheat on me in our bed and lie about it?" "You're not getting it," she said first. "Oh, I get it. How long did you plan to keep this from me?" "Please," she implored, her cheeks red from crying. "I've had my doubts for a while," I said, showing her the receipt I found beneath her bed over a month ago. "I beg you," she said. "I'll do anything. Just don't throw me away. I love you and want you. Of course I can see how much you want me. You wanted me so much that you fell for my jerk of a boss." "He threatened me," she whispered through her tears. "Oh? I don't see any weapons. How did he threaten you?" "He said he'd hurt us both if I ever said anything. You have to believe me. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. Please, I'm begging you." "Anything it takes?" I asked. "Yes, I'll do anything you ask. Just stop it and turn off that stupid video." I turned off the video and thought about what she said. I remembered George mentioning something quite similar, that Tristan had also threatened his wife. Still, I had to get her out of the house for my own peace of mind, and now, it appeared, for her safety as well. "Okay," I murmured, and she wrapped her arms around my neck. I pulled her away from me to show her that this wasn't finished. "Here's what will happen. You will do exactly what I say without question, or we are done. Do you understand?" "Yes," she yelled. "Does he email you or message you on Facebook?" I inquired. "He emails me right before he comes over. He's never tried to contact me on Facebook. I answer and then delete both his email and my reply." That made sense of the empty folders. "It's time for you to start taking my advice." "Okay, don't let him know I'm onto his game. Answer like you do and keep everything the same. It might be proof and I'll check your email. The same goes for Facebook. If anything changes, we're done. Got it?" Yes, she said. "When can he come by? Does he have a set time?" "He always shows up on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning after you've left for work," she told me, confirming what I had already believed. "How long has this junk been going on?" "I think it's been about 2 months since the picnic." "Did you really think you could let him force himself on you 3 times a week for the rest of your life? You can't be that stupid, can you? How much longer were you going to put up with it?" "I don't know," she cried. "Does he know where your car or your mother's house is?" "No," she said. "Good," I told her. "Pack enough things to last a few days and go to your mother's house. She knows you're coming and is waiting for you," I said, which made her cry again. "Come on, what did you think would happen?" I said with a tone of sarcasm. "Why do I have to go?" she said. 2 reasons, I said. "First, my trust has been broken. What would you do if you watched a film of me with another woman?" "You're right. I'd be furious and kick you out." I said, "Second, if this guy is as crazy as I think, you're not safe here until he's dead or in jail. If what you say is true, he doesn't care about breaking the law." "Okay, that makes sense," she said. I said, "We're not done. Please write down the whole story for me. I want to know when and how all of this happened. I need every detail, and I expect to see it in my inbox by midnight on Tuesday. That's when he'll be back. No email, no explanation, no remorse, and no marriage. It's that simple." "What?" she yelled, her cheeks already red from crying. "Listen up. If I don't see it, there's no going back, no second chances, and forget about any money. On Wednesday morning, I'll go to a divorce lawyer to get things started. It's your turn now. Do you understand?" "Got it," she answered, looking down. "You're right. I wouldn't give you this much of a chance to fix things. Just remember that he chased me, not the other way around." "Maybe," I responded, "but you had a lot of chances to tell him off and let me know. We could have worked together to deal with this jerk. Now that we're not together, I have to deal with him, and I'm not sure whether I can trust you. I'm sorry, but I was scared he would hurt you. I couldn't stand the idea. I was in the Marines. Come on, trust me, if he had assaulted us like that, he would be wounded. Then we'd put the rest of his miserable self in jail." "Listen," I continued, "get your things together and go to your mom's house. It's best if you don't know much about my plans. Focus on drafting me the email and get your thoughts in order. I can't promise anything, but we'll chat more after I deal with that jerk. What I saw made me cry. You could as well have killed me. That would have been faster and nicer. Now go. One more thing, I said. Don't call me. I'll call you after I read your explanation. Got it? More tears, more crying, more apologies. I was done. I still cared for her, but I couldn't focus with her crying all the time. Damn, if she had just trusted me enough to talk to me. Yes, she responded as she walked to the bedroom to get her things. Before she went, she turned around and murmured, I love you so much. Her eyes were tearful. Okay, I said. I'll wait for your email. No calls at all. Just remember that our marriage depends on you now. Okay, she said, which made me think of the shy girl I met for the first time many years ago. She closed the door, and I saw her automobile go. Damn, I wanted a cigarette. Chapter 7. The Calm Before the Storm. After she left, I decided to go over all the material I had and think about my plan for Tristan. Then I had an idea. The 4th of July picnic was the start of all this, in a park with a lot of cameras with servers that our company set up. That was the most important thing. I called Hank's cell phone and he answered. Hey Steve, how's it going? Thanks, it's hard, but I'm getting through it. Do you still know people who work at Parks and Recreation? Yeah, why? Is this about how to set up the camera? I think I can find some important evidence in the video from the 4th of July picnic. It looks like that's when all of this started. Is there any way you could get that video? Not sure, but I can ask. I know some people there who owe me a lot of money. I'm guessing you want this right away? Yes, that would be great. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll see you in the morning. Thanks, Hank. Bye. The remainder of the day was quiet, and that night I went to bed as nothing had occurred. Like always, Tristan came into his office the next morning shortly before I got off work. He didn't say anything to me, but the way he moved made me feel nervous. He looked like he was watching me. I called his place after work wanting to talk to his wife. She answered after I called twice. Mrs. Brown? I said. Yes? Hey, you might not remember, but we met at the 4th of July barbecue. I'm on your husband Tristan's team. Hey Steve, it's coming back to me. What's going on? Well, I said, I need to talk to you about your husband and my wife. Huh? She said, appearing surprised. Do you mind if I come by and show you something? Okay, she said, giving him her location. Thanks, I'll be there soon. Also, please don't tell Tristan about this, okay? I drove there as fast as I could after she said yes. When I got there, she met me at the door and brought me inside. Please tell me you have good proof, she said. Yes, I said as I opened my PC. How about a movie? Oh no, she said. I've had a feeling something was wrong for a long time, but I never found any proof. When I showed her the video of her husband cheating on her with my wife, her eyes got bigger. When I ended the recording, she seemed really angry. She shouted out, I'll kill that bastard. Rebecca didn't say anything, but she nodded every now and again as I talked about my ideas. Then she turned to me and asked what I wanted her to do. I asked, You mean love for revenge? She nodded. No, I don't want that. I think he's been threatening my wife the whole time and she was too scared to tell me. Tristan can be scary at times. I know, she said. So what I need you to do is act like everything is fine, I said. Just go about your day like you always do. This might get Tristan arrested, and I'm very sure he'll lose his job. If you wish to divorce him, I'll send you a copy of the video. Yes, please, she said. I put the video on a flash drive and handed it to her. After leaving Rebecca's house, I went home. Then Hank called. He'd gotten some film from the summer picnic by pulling some strings. He said it looked like Tristan was spiking Olivia's drink. Can you come to the P&R office this morning? Hank inquired. Okay, I said. I'm going. Perfect, Hank answered. I'll see you there. When I got at P&R, I saw Hank waiting at the door. We headed to the video storage area where Hank and a P&R staffer had already set up the film for us to watch. The P&R worker started the video and focused on Tristan. As expected, it showed him putting something in Olivia's drink. We saw Olivia take a few sips before going to the toilet. At that point, we saw her stumble, and Tristan led her to the facility. She went into the women's room while he waited outside for a moment, looking around. Then he slipped into the women's room. He left after a while, and Olivia didn't come out for a few minutes, holding her head in pain. Is that enough video?" Hank asked. I nodded yes and asked the P&R worker if he could clip that part of the film but preserve the timestamp. He said he could and made me a DVD. I thanked him and Hank and departed. So far, Olivia's tale checked out, and it became evident to me that Tristan had to pay a lot. Chapter 8. The show. That Tuesday night, I got up earlier than usual. I had a lot to accomplish before Tristan came over for what he thought would be his regular Wednesday morning meeting with my wife. Hank showed up about 10 first, and we talked about the operation over coffee. I got my 12-gauge shotgun and several shells filled with rock salt. I hoped I wouldn't have to use it, but I wanted to be sure no one would die if I did. Angela texted me to tell me she was ready. She entered onto the network as me and launched Skype at 11:30. At 11:45, she sent an SMS that said, "Target online." This meant that Tristan was nearby checking to see if I was at work. He would soon be at my house. I turned out the lights and got ready in the bedroom with my loaded shotgun. Hank got into the front bathroom so he could block Tristan's escape. He had already written Olivia to let her know he was coming. I checked my phone, and, as expected, there were the pictures he used to blackmail her. I typed back, "Okay," pretending to be her. After a few minutes, I heard someone unlock the front door. This person had a key. He shut the door, and I could hear him walking to the master bedroom. "I'm back! Are you ready for me?" he screamed. "Any time," I said as I left the bedroom with the shotgun aimed at him. His face revealed utter bewilderment. He didn't expect to see me pointing a shotgun at his face. "Why did you come here?" "Why are you here?" he questioned. "You should be at work." "Hey, jerk, this is my house and I live here. Why are you here?" "Want to have your rape on Wednesday morning?" "You're fired," he whispered under his breath. "You're an arsehole." Hank walked out of the shadows and shouted, "No, Tristan, you're fired." Tristan didn't see this coming. "Fuck you," he shouted as he pulled a knife from his pocket. "I'll kill you and then I'll love your wife right in front of you. You might learn how a true man loves." Tristan came at me with a knife. I pointed my shotgun at his right thigh and shot him with rock salt. He yelled at me while holding his leg, and I got closer and loaded another bullet. I put the shotgun muzzle close to his face. "Shut up, jerk. That was only rock salt." I told him, "This next one isn't." His eyes became big, and I kicked the knife away. I told Hank to call 911, and he already had my home phone and called the cops. The police and paramedics were in the apartment in no time. They took down my and Hank's accounts of what happened. I showed them video proof of Tristan drugging and then attacking my wife. I also showed them the threatening emails Tristan sent to Olivia to keep her quiet. The officers took my smartphone with video of the attack and all the evidence stored on my home server. The cops left after a few hours, allowing Hank and me time to relax. I sent Angela a text to let her know that everything was over and to thank her very much. I told Hank, "I'm so glad that's over." "Yeah," he responded. "Would you have killed Tristan if you had the chance?" "Hank, I'd rather not talk about that," I stated. He nodded, understanding how I felt. "Listen, take the rest of the week off to work things out with your wife," he replied. "I'll talk to upper management and get in touch with George. I'll call you, but for now you may have Tristan's job if you want it." "Thanks, Hank," I murmured as I shook his hand. I went down to check my email and saw a message from Olivia, but the phone rang before I could read it. "Steve, you need to go to the hospital," my mother-in-law urged. Olivia tried to kill herself. Chapter 9. Olivia's narrative. I took my laptop and went to the hospital. When I got to her room, the doctor told me she had taken a whole bottle of sleeping pills. They emptied her stomach and got rid of most of the pills before they disintegrated, but there was still a lot of the medication in her system. Her mom said she heard Olivia fill the bathtub, but not get out. When she went to check, she found my wife in the tub, having taken a whole bottle of pills. I put my hand on my wife's head, kissed her cheek, and murmured a little prayer. I said, "God, please don't let her die," and tears filled my eyes. I sat down on a chair next to her bed, opened my laptop, and read her email. She began, "My dearest Steve, I'm really sorry for the last 2 months. There is no explanation for what I did, and I should have trusted you enough to tell you what was going on. Tristan is simply so scary, and his threats scared me more than you can imagine. I knew Tristan was scary, so that didn't surprise me. It all started at that cookout on the 4th of July. I remember drinking a drink and feeling very weird, so I went to the toilet. You had gone to bring us lunch, and I assumed I would come back before you. I had no idea Tristan was following me, and then he showed up out of nowhere and acted like he wanted to assist. I walked into the bathroom cubicle, and he stood there with a crazy grin on his face. I attempted to get dressed, but I couldn't move. Before I knew it, he had me pinned down. I hated it. I hated him, and for a second, I hated you for not being there to help me and beat him up. After he was done, he took pictures of me and threatened to murder us both if I ever told anyone. He then snatched something from my purse and fled. I didn't realize till later that he had taken my house key. It started the week after that. He said he would come every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I had to do what he said without asking questions or objecting. He told me that if I fought back, he would murder me and then hurt you. I wanted to tell you something a lot, but he continued sending those pictures and threatening to kill us both. I felt stuck, so I went along with it. I'm glad you found out when you did. It seems strange, but I was really close to killing myself at that moment. I couldn't take the misery he caused me anymore, and I couldn't stand knowing how much I was hurting you. I watched you in pain the other day, and I understand if you hate me. Please forgive me, and know that I've loved you since the first time we met. I hope he does something stupid and you hurt him. I hope this email helps you understand things better. I want you to know that I love you and always will, no matter what happens. Now I have to do the one thing that will show you how sorry I am. Please don't hate me, and please find a lady who can love you better than I can. I'm really sorry, and I love you. The last line of the email said, "All my love, your Olivia." As I read her email all the way through, tears flowed down my face. I turned off my laptop and closed the message. I sat there for a while crying and hoping my wife would wake up. Finally, I heard her sweet voice from the bed. "Steve," she yelled. I said, "I'm here," and hugged her. "Am I still alive?" she said through her sobs. "Yes, dear," I told her. "It's over. The police caught Tristan, and that's it." She held on to me tighter and cried more. "Will you forgive me?" she begged. "Of course," I told her. "Please talk to me first next time. I can't live without you either." "Okay, I promise I will," she said. Epilogue. The crisis was over, but the story went on. I obtained Tristan's job with a large rise and a $2 million bonus from the higher-ups to make up for what we went through. George went back to his old job with a rise and a bonus, just like I did. Angela took over as team leader for me, and I bought her lunch to show my thanks. Things became worse for Tristan. Rebecca won their divorce, but it was just the beginning of his problems. There was enough evidence on his phone and computer to link him to several continuing rapes and several more attempts at extortion. He also had to deal with federal accusations for drugging multiple ladies without their knowledge to make them fall in love. The court gave him a total of 50 years in prison and had him register as a sex offender. But he didn't even come close to serving that time. He died 6 months into his sentence when another prisoner stabbed him in the heart many times. Thanks for asking. Olivia and I are doing okay. There's no doubt that it's been hard. Olivia needed therapy for a long time since Tristan kept abusing her. But she's gotten a lot better, and we're looking forward to having a new grandchild. Yes, life is good.